Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we're going to do something very similar but also kind of different. Rather than looking at one mod, we're going to look at a collection of mods which I've also created so it can be easily downloaded on the Steam Workshop, which will fix Chaos, because, well, let's be honest, Chaos was the first ever DLC for Total War Warhammer, and it's not in a good place. Now, we're obviously expecting a Warriors of Chaos rework in Warhammer 3, but we don't know exactly when that will be, so what I've decided to do is go throughout the workshop and find some mods which will be able to give a lot more flavor to the Warriors of Chaos faction, give them a little bit of an overhaul, while still being quite lore-friendly and not overpowered. So let's take the time now and check out all these mods as a complete collection. Firstly, with this collection, the Warriors of Chaos faction will be able to encamp and get out of camp without any restrictions, which, you know, the Beastmen had a similar thing when their official patch came in. It should have actually just also been copy-pasted for the Warriors of Chaos, but hey, you know, at least we've got mods to be able to do that. This means that you'll be able to move your complete movement and be able to encamp. Not only that, but you'll be able to attack a settlement and also be able to encamp after raising it. The collection will also update your research tree, which was very needed for the Warriors of Chaos. I believe they had the smallest or second smallest research tree. This will add in a bunch of new technologies whilst also updating the old ones, focusing around quality of life changes, upkeep reduction, also increasing research rate, and various different things just to bring the Warriors of Chaos more on par with different races and factions. They'll feel a lot more leveled out and balanced. You'll still need to spend some cash to work your way up through the tree itself, but of course, with the Warriors of Chaos, it doesn't really take too long to acquire funds. Completing the whole tree will also unlock a final branch, which will cost money but is more of the late game technologies, stuff like increasing the levels at which you recruit a Lord or Hero choice, and loads of other different benefits which will be very beneficial to you at late game. These are rather powerful technologies, and they're balanced with the fact that as you progress through this branch, it will also reduce your research rate, so try and think as to what you actually want, because this will be beneficial. Now, the collection itself is going to add a few mechanics when it comes to taking over settlements, but we're going to talk about the gifts to the Norsker Hordes first. You see, an issue that this faction does have is while you can awaken the tribes, it does become a bit of an issue when they start declaring war on each other, especially if you're leaving any low-tier lords around that area to try and build them up and so on. It just can be incredibly annoying. So what this does is removes the need to awaken the tribes, unless of course you want to unlock Sigvald, and gives you a unified faction. Think of this in a very similar way to how Nakai the Wanderer has it. It also removes the restriction of the awakening the tribes mechanic, where you would awaken one, then you'd need to go a few settlements away to awaken another, and so on. Here you can do so constantly with every settlement that you come across, as it goes to one individual faction. You will also be able to give settlements to the Norskin faction, which is not normally available to them. So for example, these dwarf holds in the mountains, and even Kislevites cities in the steppes. Now, the big difference between this faction and Nakai's vassal faction is the fact that these Norskins are completely sentient, meaning that they will build up their settlements and they will also make armies and attack your enemies. Now, let's of course talk about the Chaos Marks, very popular mod where you will be able to raise settlements in the name of different Chaos gods and be able to get a special mark in their honor. There are of course 4 different marks, one for each of the Chaos gods, Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh and Tzeentch, and what this does is acts as a new form of currency for you. The currency is used in a very similar way to unit upgrade mods, which also features in this collection. So what this does is turns your Warriors of Chaos, which are represented in-game as Chaos Undivided, into marked Chaos Warriors. If you have Slaaneshi marks, you can turn your warriors into Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh, and they'll have their own benefits. The same thing as Khorne, Nurgle or Tzeentch. This is so you can theme your armies and have them look different visually too. The fact is that this adds in a lot more flavor, and it should be how the Warriors of Chaos should have always been. Now, you'll need to go and get as many marks as possible, and yeah, that means that you'll have to start raising some settlements, because say for example, the Warriors of Chaos Standard will only need 1 mark to be able to upgrade. However, Chaos Chosen will need 2. They will vary depending on their actual tier that they are. But don't worry, there are other ways to acquire marks, like for example here, you can see a usual dilemma has popped up and you'll have to pick between corn and zinch. Well, if I pick corn, I'll start generating marks of corn, so this does actually help out, meaning that you can still focus around building up your Norskers, but also still getting marks if you need any extra, or if you just want to focus one army really quickly. This is just the look of the Sineshi units, and only just a few of them, but you can see that the Marks of Chaos makes them quite stylized, and it's just visually there. Not only are the units buffed up in the style of each of the Chaos Gods, but just visually they're very thematic, and it's very important, especially for a game like Warhammer. Okay, so 2 things in this part of the video. Firstly, you will obviously go and attack and raise lots of settlements. There was a bit of an issue here where Chaos Corruption really did not matter. Now you'll start to see it more often. If you raise a settlement, the other adjacent settlements will start to begin to suffer very high forms of Chaos Corruption. This is quite important as Chaos Corruption does indeed cause some sort of attrition to the enemy, and you know, it changes the map a little bit, so it's kind of cool. Now, also, this collection will also add in a mod which will not allow for enemies to settle in settlements that have been recently raised for a number of turns, because you know how annoying that is when you go and destroy something and then someone else takes it over instantly. It's something that obviously the Beastmen fixed, but the Warriors of Chaos still have that issue. One thing Chaos really needs is more legendary characters, and this collection will add a decent number of them. However, they won't be able to be used as a starting lord, and you'll have to recruit them as normal. Now, the thing is that you'll have characters dedicated to each of the Chaos Gods, and they'll have their stylistic different skills and look about them. We'll showcase a few of them in just a few moments. This is from a rather popular mod series by Shore Muscle, so some of them are actually from lore and the others are just custom made, but they all fit the part, and that's the most important thing. On screen are some of the characters, and there's a lot more than this, but the idea is just to showcase a basic amount of them so you can see if you're interested or not. And yeah, I think they are quite thematic, they look really good, they fit with the theme, and that's the most important thing, and it will give you some more flavor. Again, you see some Khornate lords, some Sineshi lords. If you want to actually have themed armies, which, you know, it's always cool to have a little bit of a roleplay aspect in Total War, this is a really good way to go about it. And on screen now you can see a bunch of new units being added in for the Warriors of Chaos roster, but not all of them. You can see different God-touched warriors, Chaos War Mammoths, which yes are in Norsker, but really should be in the Warriors of Chaos roster. It's a Warriors of Chaos unit from tabletop. Chaos Dragons, which was really needed, and a bunch of different other things. The idea of this mod collection was to provide a overhaul for the Warriors of Chaos using mods that are not part of one big mega mod. Because I know a lot of people do prefer using mods but don't want to go for a complete overhaul, but just want to try out different mods here and there. The fact is also a lot of mods do kind of tip the power balance a lot, so I've spent as much time as possible just looking through different mods to keep things as balanced as literally possible. I think the collection itself does that very well, and hopefully you guys do enjoy this. I've tried my hardest with this, and the collection itself can be found in the description below, which has a link to everything you need right from that link. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think I should do this more often with other races? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.